Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today and listening to The Barbershop. I'm your host, Jeremy, and I want to give a real quick thank you shout out about the fact that the recording app has informed me that I have over 100 listens already. That's kind of astronomical out of maybe actively there's 6-7 episodes you can find vis-a-vis Spotify or YouTube, but I know I have an issue with some of the old episodes kind of got lost in translation and everything when I had to make space on the app in order to provide new episodes. And it's just awesome that overall I've got over 100 listens and streams. So thank you guys for listening and proving and showing to me that there's an interest in this, that I'm not just some loser sitting in the basement shouting nonsense into the void. Today I want to do kind of a movie review, mainly just a specific scene from the movie A Beautiful Mind. But before I get into that, I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about a Dalmore 12 scotch that I have previously got to enjoy from a buddy of mine, who I'm going to nickname him Beastie. And shout out Beastie, you know who you are. And this Dalmore 12 was a very, very interesting experience. So first of all, scotch takes a method to drink. You need to know how to drink scotch. You don't want to just shoot it back, or at least not this stuff that I've tried in the past. You will essentially choke on it because of the fumes, the aroma, the flavoring. It's all so pungent and upfront. Yeah. It's its own experience. Quick rundown: you want to part your lips, open your mouth, and take your inhale through your nose and hold it. You want to take your sip of your scotch, sit it in your mouth for a minute, swallow, and then exhale through your mouth. You can exhale through your nose, whichever one you want to do. Recommend out of your mouth to really kind of blow away those vapors and smells and aromas, because they're just so strong. That is going to be the best way to successfully not gag, choke, and want to throw up after having a sip of scotch. Do not take a whole shot like I did. So Beastie, actually, we were playing D&D and he brought a bottle of Wee Beastie scotch and had me try it. And he warned me. He told me, "Hey man, take a sip." I was like, okay. Didn't really know anything else about scotch. So being the buffoon that I have been in the past, boom, I just slammed that bad boy down and I almost immediately threw up. It was just strong. It was an experience. Dalmore 12 itself, though, in comparison, it has a deep, rich flavor. It's kind of got a semi-sweetness to it, so it's actually very mellow, even though the experience of the flavors are very upfront and on the tongue. The smokiness comes from a peat moss. That is a kind of vegetation in Scotland that burns really hot and produces a lot of smoke, which is used for a lot of the flavoring in multiple kinds of scotches. And so, along with sitting in casks and pulling out of these wood barrels, the scotch's flavor and color and aroma, they utilize that smoking process with peat moss to really make a signature scotch flavor. So give it a find if you can. I believe Beastie told me it was in the $35 range, maybe in the 40s. It didn't seem too miserably expensive. Your prices may vary based on location. So getting into the movie. It's called A Beautiful Mind. Basically, it follows the story of a man named John Nash, who was a historical figure from the 1920s, who was a profound mathematician. He was incredibly smart and definitely shook the world of economics, business, and mathematics up with some of his theories that he put into the world and some of the research that he did. John Nash suffered extensively from schizophrenia. He had auditory and visual hallucinations that he believed to be companions or roommates even when he was in college. Granted, this is from the point of the movie, even though John Nash was a real person with this ailment. I'm not sure how accurate that was. But an accurate point that I want to talk about was brought up in a scene where John Nash and 4 of his buddies are out at the bar. They see a blonde girl walk in with 4 of her friends. And they all start jabbing each other oh man, yeah, I'm going to take her. She's cool. She's hot. I'm interested in that. And they all just take this big groan and they're like, oh, she's looking at Nash. Dang it. So they all start making fun of each other about how they're all for one, every man for himself, who can get the blonde. One of the guys pipes up saying, remember Adam Smith and how he stated that in competition, individual ambition serves the common good. Meaning, hey, you know what? If you got to go do things on your own, especially if it's every man for himself, then that's going to yield the best outcome. Because otherwise, there was the theory behind, you could get cheated if there was teams, even in a team, you're still going to get a little bit of shafted. Someone's going to get a better end. Nevertheless, moving on. As they all kind of agreed, okay, cool, every man for himself, John Nash speaks up and says, well, if we all go for the blonde, we're all going to get in each other's way and none of us are going to get her. And then, if we decide to go for any of her friends, they'll all turn us down because nobody likes to be second choice. So, what if none of us go for the blonde? Everybody picks a different girl. We don't get in each other's way. We can all get companionship at the end of the night. We can all go home with somebody. And isn't that exactly what we want? We want the whole group to have a good night. And they all kind of just took a deep breath and really thought about what he said, as that resonated to him for a moment. Of course, one guy jabs at him saying, if this is just a way for you to get the blonde for yourself, you can go to hell. And that makes plenty of sense. But after that comment, John Nash does defend himself, saying, no, remember how Adam Smith said, the best results come from everyone in a group doing what's best for themselves. John Nash went ahead and continued to state, hey, Adam Smith was not finished with that statement. That was an incomplete statement. The entirety of the statement needs to be, the best results come from everyone in a group doing what's best for themselves in order to benefit the group. Meaning that their teamwork is important and vital, just as he had described about how nobody get in each other's way, everybody picks someone directly and pursue that girl. It's the best opportunity to yield the highest positive result for everyone to still have a good night. I think that's absolutely nuts. That's where my brain went about watching this movie when I was in high school, learning not only economics, philosophy, and how to pick up chicks at a bar. To remember this movie and this scene and the desire just to try and see if that would work. So I am going to challenge any of you gentlemen listeners out there, any of you ladies out there that are interested in trying to utilize that in that group dynamic in order to go and pursue getting a companion for the night from out at the bar when your group meets their group. Give it a shot. Send me a message on Instagram or my TikToks or on my Snapchat about, hey, this worked. This was a great idea. It was hilarious. That or tell me, hey, you fucking idiot, I went and I got a black eye and a drink thrown in my face. Unfortunately, your experience may vary. Casualties of war do happen. But essentially, John Nash continued on from what Adam Smith attempted to call governing dynamics. So, let me know what y'all think. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little sporadic, a little here and there, and kind of weird, but I am a 90s kid, so I probably have some severely undiagnosed and untreated ADHD. But basically, that's a small little glimpse into my mind about, that's how I watch movies, apparently. I highly recommend the movie as a whole. It's very interesting to watch. I believe it was Russel Crow who played John Nash, and he did a very impactful job in the role because it was an emotional movie. It was a crazy up and down journey through this man's life, starting at college and going into a career in a governmental position, as well as getting married, and then finally having this ailment diagnosed so that he could be treated for it after he started a family. They'd had a child, and the movie gets a little intense as he finally has to come to terms with his ailment in a very scary scene where he unintentionally neglects his infant child in the bathtub, assuming that this audible and visual hallucination that has been almost a companion to John Nash most of his life supposedly was keeping an eye on the baby. Of course, no one was keeping an eye on the baby. No one was there because he was, suffering from that hallucination. So, very deep scene and overall deep movie. Highly recommended. Give it a watch. Find you a bottle of scotch and go get a hold of this movie. Remember to inhale through the nose, take a sip, exhale, and just kind of be prepared for some feels. Great movie. Highly recommend it. And tell me what kind of stuff you could learn from this movie, because there's plenty more. It's not just about the governing dynamics There's a lot on general philosophies, economics, and mathematics. Now, I'm actually not an economic fan. I hate math. Numbers are stupid, and then why did we put the alphabet into it when we had some jackass discover algebra? But him being a historical figure is what was kind of cool for me. I'm a big old history nerd, plus a film nerd. I really enjoy movies. So you guys, please hit me up, give me some comments, send me any kind of a DM on like Instagram, and let me know what are the kind of things you guys want me to make episodes about. I'm down to just give you these random creations whenever they come to my mind. I feel like I have a couple too many of them, and I lose sight of what ones I wanted to do for y'all versus which ones I already have done for y'all. So, yeah, if you guys could write some stuff down for me, that way I can always just check back on it and then do the additional research and history lessons. That way it's content more tailored to what y'all want to hear. Anyway, everybody, thank you again for listening. It's awesome to know that there's over 100 views, not really just views, but listens, streams, whatever. 100's a crazy number. Didn't know that was going to happen, so that's pretty cool. Thank you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. And remember, as long as the lights are on and there's beer in the fridge, there will be a barbershop.